What's going on, everybody? This is David here from Blucher's Videos and Collectibles, and today we're going to have another eBay haul. And this is the haul that I picked up a while back, and Dick Tracy from Playmates. And also, this will be a two-part series because part one will focus on the figures, and then part two will focus on the other half that came with the figures and all. But overall, I had got this lot for a really cheap price, and excluding the other stuff that came with the lot, um, these figures each cost at least about $350 a piece. So you do the math, and yeah, this is one collection that I have been waiting for a decent price because I love the movie Dick Tracy. And back in the 90s when this was released, this was one of the very few movies that I really looked forward to and that I really wanted to see. And I finally got to see it in theaters when it was released because I did at the time follow the comics. And if you know Dick Tracy was based on a comic strip back in the 30s. And I think it had a movie or a silent film or something back then. But uh, this movie at the time, back in the 70s and 80s, was like in development hell for years and years and years. And finally, after going through different phases and companies and different hands of directors, Warren Beatty bought the rights to it and decided to make the movie himself and play the main character, Dick Tracy, and so forth. And if you've seen the movie, you know that the movies are very colorful, very cartoonish, but it is based on the cartoon or comic strip. So I like the fact that they kept it that way with all these outlandish characters and the way they looked, and kept it, the way it's supposed to be. But but yeah, this for the past couple of years, I've been dying to get my hands on these figures, and I came across a deal, and I made an offer to the guy, or the seller actually, the seller that was actually helping a friend of theirs, I guess, sell off his collection. He didn't want them anymore. But anyways, I said, hey, look, I offer you this amount of money for this, and accepted it, and yeah, it's like $350 a figure. And normally, and these are all complete except for two of them, which I'll show in a minute. But anyways, uh, yeah, all these figures got all their accessories, with the exception of two, like I just mentioned. And it's very hard to find these guys complete unless you get them a mint on card. And these on card are fairly expensive, between 15 and up. One of the common ones you could probably get maybe a decent deal, maybe $10. But for more of the uh, sought after ones, they're about 15 to $20, if not more, mint on card. And usually the cards that people sell aren't all that great. And half the time, most of them are unpunched. It could be a good thing, but still, condition wise and everything, it's very hard to come by with these particular figures, in my opinion. But there's certain things that I know that I want in my collection, and I don't mind loose because mint on card can, some of them, depending on the figure line, can be real expensive, and it's just not something that I'm willing to shell out bukus of money for. But so this is one of the one I made exception that I would get loose if I could find some that a set that is complete, which I was very happy because I think a couple of years ago I was looking for these and they had them loose and I missed out on some good deals. Even though I passed on them a few times, but I guess at that particular time I was focused on other stuff that I was trying to complete. So one thing my advice for people that are looking for deals on eBay and is to be patient, and a good deal will come along, and look what happens when you wait. And when you find something, just jump on it. Don't hesitate. Just do what you got to do to get them. 'Cause that's what I do. And but anyways, enough of me rambling on about all that stuff. Let's get to these figures. And when I opened the package was well kept. It was everything was all bundled up in one little bag, or not little bag, one big bag. It was like a big old bulk bag. And one of the first things I noticed, the very first thing I noticed when I opened the box, was I found flat top broken. Well, even though it's not a big of a deal to me, this is me. I know some people would go crazy and stuff because they got a broken item, which it happens. But fortunately, I was able to contact the seller, and I said, "Look, I appreciate the way everything was packed. It was nice and neat. I love the way it was presented. But when I first opened it, this is what I noticed. I even took a picture and sent it to them and stuff. But the girl, or the lady that was helping her friend, said that she assumed that it was you could put them together and whatnot, because in the picture he was together, and I even said that. I was like, look, in the pictures that you showed, it was complete, it wasn't broken or anything. So she didn't know anything about stuff, and he said that the person didn't tell her anything about it, so she just went off of whatever I guess she thought. But anyways, I know it can be a quick fix. You could like super glue this together on the inside and whatnot and make them complete. But anyways, then the next thing was totally my fault, because it was something that I did. But the character Itchy, the legs were really wonky. And well, I wouldn't say wonky, but sometimes some of these toys, they tend to not be manufactured very well. And what happened was the legs were all sticking out like this, if you can see. And I was able to push this leg in just fine. It clicked back in. And then, but on this one, I guess I pushed too hard, because it was kind of out like this a little bit, and I didn't like that. So I had to look at it, and I saw the ball joint, and I think wherever this figure came from, or how it was made and whatnot, it wasn't made all the way complete. Well, I wouldn't say complete, but it wasn't. It was just sticking out like that, and I knew that it was because of the ball joint wasn't all the way in. So when I pressed in, and not knowing, forgetting how old these figures are, I just snapped the shit out of it, and it came into 3 pieces. So technically, that was my fault, my error for doing that. But anyways, but the good news about this thing is I was able to find replacements fairly cheap, and I finally got me another flat top who isn't broken, and I finally got another Itchy. So, but if you could see what I'm talking about, it was like this. This is fine because it's not as noticeable, but I mean, it was really bad. I mean, you could really trust me, it was bad. So this isn't as noticeable. This is good. I like this. And all the other figures, they're not like this. The thing is, this is only on the Itchy one. But anyway, so I was able to find me replacements of these guys for real for like $5. It was like $5 free shipping. And when I saw that, I was just like, dude, let me get on this thing. So I was able to find my replacements for those guys. So anyways, little backstory on these figures. When this movie came out, Playmates got the rights for it, and this was supposed to be the next big blockbuster of the summer, because due to Batman, 1989, and so they wanted to capitalize on this, and so all this stuff was well into production way before the film came out. And Playmates thought, well, with the success of our turtle line, let's go ahead and make these Dick Tracy figures the exact same scales, And you could tell I don't have any turtles to really compare to on me right now, but you could tell that these are taken from the Ninja Turtle molds and stuff. Cartoonish, you know, outlandish, and, you know, big heads. And yeah, so they just thought maybe because of the fact that since they used the same molds and ideas for their turtle lines, they would incorporate in Dick Tracy lines. Well, lo and behold, that was a big failure. These figures didn't really do so well on the market, mainly because probably of how they looked, and probably because they didn't have any very heroes. Only heroes that they have was Dick Tracy and Sam Ketchum, and the rest of them are villains. And who ever heard of a toy line that has nothing but villains and only like a couple of heroes? I haven't. And this is like the only toy line that I know of that is like that. And if there is another toy line out there that's like that, please comment below and let me know so I can check that out. But anyways, but due to the failure of this toy line, they just kind of scrapped it. And the only one that's missing out of this line that I don't have, that I probably won't ever get, is the blank. And the reason why the blank is so expensive is because at the time when the movie wasn't released and this toy line was released way before the movie, it would be a spoiler. And for those who've seen, I'm pretty sure everybody's seen that movie by now, that it was Madonna who played the blank. And they had a removable mask. You know, it was connected to the hat, and you could take it on and off, and it showed her face. And so they were afraid of spoilers, so that's why they pulled all the blanks out of production. They only made so many, and then when they stopped production, they decided once the movie was released, they went ahead and released it. But since the toy line didn't do so well, they didn't make any more. So that's why it's so rare and a hot commodity amongst the vintage toy collectors. And that's why on card they're probably like $300-400, and it was only exclusive to Sears Canada, and maybe probably I think might have been another in the UK as well, but never was released in the States because retailers didn't want them because of the fact that the other toys didn't do so well or didn't sell at all. So yeah, but yeah, I'll never probably get my hands on a blank. But then again, that's what I said about the Swamp Thing variant, the camouflage Swamp Thing variant, and I happen to get, and I have one now because I was able to be patient, and I found a great deal that at the time, you know, I was able to afford to get it, and I hopped on it, and so hopefully one day I can come across a blank and pick her up and add her to my collection. But anyways, let's go ahead and take a quick look at these videos. I don't want to overrun this video too long because I want to get part 2 out to y'all as well too, because that's the stuff that came with these figures is very important to my childhood because I used to have these, and so that's why I was excited about getting this lot. But I will go over that in the second half of the video. But anyways, let's go ahead and take a quick look at these characters one by one. Right here we have Dick Tracy. Let me go ahead and see if I can. So, and you could tell like these guys are real cartoonish, you know. And one thing that a lot of collectors wasn't really happy on was the fact that he didn't come with a trench coat. And the only figure that came with a trench coat was the blank. So he's basically didn't have his yellow famous trench coat. And if you notice, he wore that trench coat throughout the whole film. Like the only time that he had it off was during like one scene in the office. And the second one, the second and only hero, or second to none, or I don't know what I'm saying, but the second hero is Sam Ketchum, and yeah, and these figures are all in great condition. The guy who took care of his stuff was except for that flat top that broke. I don't know what the story behind that one is, Anyways, here's Big Boy Caprice, portrayed by Al Pacino. And you know Al Pacino, he loves his gangster movies. And I like the fact that he comes with little bitty money bags. Like I said, all these figures are complete except for 2 of them. Yeah, I wish this thing would focus so you can really see the details on this. I don't want to spend too much time just focusing because I only got so much time on my phone. Frustrations. So here we got the brow. There we go. Hopefully that's better. So the brow. And the Tramp. Steve the Tramp. And he also came with a board. You know, this is the guy that Dick Tracy beat up in the movie. And here we got his Lips Manless. He was portrayed by I just done forgot his name too. But he also came with 2 cement blocks where you would just take these off and you could put them in here, you know, on his feet. So back here we have Mumbles, who is portrayed by Dustin Hoffman. I thought he really did a great job with this character, as outlandish it was. Then we have the Influence. Shoulders. I love the way they did nice details that they did from head to toe, from the hat to the shoes. You know, just the incredible detail that they took the time to do with these figures, these loafers and stuff. Great stuff. Oops. I'm knocking shit around, aren't I? Anyways, here's Prune Face. Look at that pruny face. Look at that. All the nice DC. This camera's not doing this figure any justice. I think I just made it worse. There we go. You can see all the nice detail from the hair to the face. I mean, they went the extra mile on these. And over here, we have the Rodent. Look how ugly this guy is. Look at that. Does look like a rat, doesn't he? He's not complete as he's missing the his lead pipe that comes with it. But other than that, it came with his belt and Tommy gun. And flat top. Now the rope and the Tommy gun came with the this original figure, and so he was just bare. Well, I take that back. He came with his little belt as well, his bullet belt. So, but he didn't have the accessory, so which is cool. And then we have Itchy, and he's missing his Tommy gun and his lead pipe. So hopefully I can be able to find a couple of lead pipes and a Tommy gun to complete this set. But anyways, but yeah, that's my Dick Tracy collection, and hopefully I can be able to get the 2 cars, the Caprice getaway car and the cop car, and hopefully I can get that one day. I know they pop up every now and then, but you know, sometimes these sellers, they ask way too much for what they think it's worth. But I'll get them one day. Hopefully I can find a good deal on them. And but anyways, yeah, that's my Dick Tracy collection right here for now. And stay tuned for part 2. And before I get off here to do part 2, I'll just wanted to say, if you have any comments, you know, please like these videos. Subscribe if you're a new subscriber. Hit that notification bell so you receive all my videos as I upload them. And if you collected any of these or had any of these as a kid, leave that in the comment below. And I will see you in part 2.